What's up, everybody? Welcome out to Retro Game Scene. I'm Michael with Game Changerz here, and this is our fun show where we chat with cool and interesting people in the local gaming community, and then we make them play a video game. Today's guest is Bryan Cragun, one of Utah's biggest Zelda fans, which I know a lot of people are going to contest, but trust me, he's up there. And also one of the OG KSL resellers, one of the reasons that a lot of the people in our community, in our friend group, know each other. How's it going, Bryan?
Hey, good to see you, Michael. It's always good to be here. Got to let everyone know Michael's just a good dude.
Oh, come on, dude. Well, I'm glad to have you out here, man. Tell us a little bit about like how you got into retro gaming. Did you like grow up playing the old school games?
Yeah, so we actually had an Atari. Mm-hmm. I just remember having that, and then played River Raid and Pitfall.
Nice.
Combat,
on the 2600. Nice.
Haunted House was actually one of my favorite ones. Loved that. Had some mystery to it, and maybe I attribute that to some of my love for Zelda. But interestingly enough, when arcades came out and Super Mario Brothers came in the arcade, and it changed my whole life, my perspective on video games. And I was always the one trying to go to the local laundromat or just anywhere that had it, and I would just play it, right? And
I feel that, man. I remember being a kid. I never had quarters on me, but that didn't stop me from always, if I saw an arcade machine, just running up to it and spamming the buttons. Like, come on, please, somebody left a quarter in here or something. And my mom would always get so mad. She'd like, where did you just disappear off to? Get back here. And I remember one time I actually did have a quarter because we used to go to some sort of, my dad was in the Navy, and we had to go to some building somewhere when I was really, really little to get, I don't know, a check or something. I can't remember, but there was a Ninja Turtles arcade machine in that building. And after 4 or 5 times running up to it and not having a quarter, I planned ahead, and I'm like, okay, I'm bringing a quarter today. Oh, yeah. She says, we're going to the thing. I'm bringing a quarter. And I run over there and I put a quarter in it. I hit start, and immediately she's like, we got to go.
Oh, no.
I was so upset.
Oh, man.
No, but I feel you there, man. Arcades are awesome. And then it wasn't until way later that I was able to actually like start getting and playing. Like the NES was the main one that I played as a kid. Do you have a lot of time on the NES?
Yeah, so about that Super Mario Brothers, right? I remember liking the game so much. I'd go to KB Toys in the mall, Valley Fair Mall. Okay. And I would say, do you have Super Mario Brothers on the Atari yet? Me not knowing how things work, right? I'm like,
oh, but they did, though. They had Mario Brothers on the Atari.
Mario Brothers, right. I'm like, when are you going to have Super Mario Brothers? And me thinking, wait, there's only one button on the Atari. They need 2. I'm sure they'll figure it out somehow, right? But all they would tell me is, no, we don't have it yet or something. So I'm just thinking that in anticipation, they're going to have it for the Atari. So, of course, a little bit later, Nintendo comes out. It's the best thing in the world. We didn't really have a lot growing up at all, so it was kind of out of the question to get a Nintendo in the family. But some friends of mine, they had one. They got one for a family gift or something. They just didn't play it that much, and so we were just talking one day, and they're like, "Hey, you want to buy our Nintendo?"
Like, yes,
and it's like,
absolutely.
What? Thinking, they're going to get in trouble for this or something. They're like, $35.
Snap.
And I had just mowed a lot of lawns. That's what I tried to do to get a little bit of money here and there. That was all of the money I had to my name.
Oh, that was such a good spend, though.
So I booked it home and got the money, put it in an envelope, booked it back, on my bike, and I ripped open the envelope and realized that I had actually ripped the whole envelope open with the money.
Oh, no.
So the money was ripped in half, and I was like, I had never felt so down and depressed. I'm like, oh, no. Okay, I'm going to go home and get some glue. I don't know why I was thinking that, but I'm like, I'll be right back. I'm going to get some glue. We're going to fix this. And by the time I got back, they had gotten some tape, and they had taped it up. And they're like, no, this is fine. I thought that if money was torn, it was history. So you imagine the heartbreak and then the excitement at the same time. And so I bought that Nintendo, and honestly, I think the rest is history. In fact, I still have that same original Nintendo in my collection in my game room. So
you've got your OG like childhood NES
that I used my lawn mowing money to buy, and so
that's awesome.
Then the next thing is getting games. I mean, you can't buy games; they're so expensive. I've heard stories of people saving up all their money to buy a game that was just garbage.
Oh, and you never know until you get it if it's going to be good or not.
I just spent $50 for this, right? But lots of visits to the rental stores. And so that's what I played on. And a Christmas present would be one of the games from the rental store that they just wanted to get rid of, or something.
Yeah, because they eventually sell them, yeah.
Yeah, so the game Trojan being one of those.
Okay.
And that was an arcade game too. So I remember playing that, but you ended up getting a few. But in my collection, I actually have that small selection of games that I was able to get, whether it be rental stores or something else. So I believe we got a picture of that too.
Oh, yeah. So we did a tour through what we call your Zelda room, right?
Right.
So for everybody out there who doesn't know, you know how people do the game rooms. Bryan's game room is very, very Zelda. And then we actually went through and did a tour video. So let's go ahead and put that up so everyone can see. So this is the infamous Zelda room.
Come on in.
Woo, man. You were not kidding. Okay, well, we got to get a closer look at some of this, man. What's your favorite thing in here?
Man, when you think about it, there's a lot of favorite things. I mean, I could go right to this original Zelda complete in box. That's where it all started, right? And it's really what started this collection. But someone recently asked me what my favorite item in my collection was, and it's always changed, but it kind of gravitated towards this rock right here.
Oh my gosh.
Because there's only one of those that exist in the world, really. But
what's the story on that one?
So when Patricia Summersett, the voice of Zelda, came to the game room, and that's a long story I'll spare you right now. Maybe we'll do another time. But she had this rock specially made from an artist friend of hers.
Oh, wow.
Because she saw pictures of the game room. She really wanted to see it, but she also wanted to contribute to it, a one-of-a-kind item that would be in there. So we did an unboxing here. We've got a video of it. And I actually asked her where she wanted to place it. So she actually placed it there herself. So
that's awesome, dude.
Pretty cool, unique art.
What, you got one of them gray carts that Quentin has? So there's 2 of those in Utah?
Yep, 2 of those in Utah.
That's crazy. Out of the, 8 that are known to exist?
We're still trying to figure out how many even exist. It's really unknown, but yeah, there's a small group of people that have these. And I get asked questions on them, like, hey, ask Bryan, he knows.
Wait, Tiger made Mega Mans?
Yeah.
That's sick. Oh, and the arcade machine. Did you build this yourself?
So I had a friend help build this. He had a machine, wanted to custom make it so it was a lot shallower. I wanted to get a regular arcade, but it was just a little bit too big. And so we custom made this for me, even etched a nice symbol in there for me. Put the overworld of Zelda for there, and it's basically a Raspberry Pi in there, so it just has everything on there. And we have fun on this as a family too.
Right on, yeah, 4-player, that's the way to do. And then is that an NES test station, like what the repair shops used to use?
That is. And
how does one get one of those?
And these are very rare. The weird story about that is, I mean, these were also property of Nintendo, supposed to be returned. Found an eBay listing years and years ago. The eBay user had 0 feedback, and they listed this along with other test carts and things like that. They happened to be in Mesa, Arizona, and I was going for a holiday trip in the same area, so I'm like, well, let's go by. So I contacted them. I came by. It was legit. They had everything, and so long story short, me and a group of collectors just kind of made an offer on the whole lot, and we bought the whole lot of stuff and divvied everything out. But the test station was one of the things that I really wanted. It's super cool and super rare.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one of those in person. Do you know how to use it?
I do.
That's awesome. What would you say is the rarest thing that you have here, not counting one of a kind?
Well, right, of course. But as far as rare, I'd probably have to go right here. So among many things, I'm going to go with this one right here. This is...
Man, what's that say on there? Zelda 2 sample?
Sample cart. Notice the misspelling of Nintendo at the bottom.
Nintendo?
Nintendo. And there's only one of these that I've seen out there. In fact, I'm going to bring this out here because it's probably the second rarest.
No freaking way.
It's another sample cart, but I have only seen 3 of these to exist in the world, or in the US. I have 2 out of the 3.
Holy cow.
The one that makes this one a a little more special
Is the Nintendo?
is not only that, but I got it from the original owner, if you want to call it. So I saw a guy that had did a post on some, I can't remember what forum it was, but he just posted this, you know, wild years ago. One of those stories where Dad passed away, unfortunately, went back home to Chicago, and his mom said, "Hey, I've got this bin of your old Nintendo stuff."
Oh my gosh.
So he's looking through it, and then he remembered this. So his dad was the senior editor for Playboy magazine.
What?
I know, crazy, right? So Nintendo would send these sample carts to big corporations. And they didn't do it with every game, but there's some of other games that exist out there. And they were supposed to be sent back to Nintendo. But instead, his dad took it home and gave it to his son.
Oh my gosh.
And then it just remained in his collection until it was rediscovered a little bit later. And when I found him on there, I messaged him probably about a year after he made the post. So I thought there's no way this is still around. And I just said, "Hey, do you still have that? And would you be interested in selling it if you do?" And he said, "Yep, I still have it and I'm interested." And so we worked something out. I showed him pictures of the game room and he was actually really excited where it was going and that it was going to a good home. And he provided a little, like a letter of authenticity, where he got it, with his dad's business card.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's get a close up on that. That's amazing.
So literally one of a kind.
Right on, man. Well, this is an amazing game room. I absolutely dig it. Thanks a bunch for giving me a tour, man.
Of course.
So that's crazy, dude. So what's the story behind the Zelda room? I mean, I know a lot of it, but if you want to tell the peeps.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a childhood dream come true, really. But I was, starting to collect. In fact, you know what? Maybe I'll get into that.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
So everything has a story, right? So, I played, a lot of games, growing up. Zelda, really got me hooked, though, when I mentioned Super Mario Brothers. But when I got a hold of Zelda, it was like, whoa, this is really cool. So Zelda 1, I was one of those guys that bombed every single wall, burnt every bush.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. I mean, and I just knew that game back and forth. And so I was like, oh, when's there going to be another one, right? And so in the meantime, I'm playing a lot of games. In fact, I used to have a list in my room of games that I had conquered. That was what I called it back then. And so games conquered, and I had this list and everything. But believe it or not, I got to over 200
games
that I beat.
Oh, nice.
So when Zelda 2 came out, I was so excited, right? It was like, oh, another one's coming out. And when it did come out, I was just as excited about it. Now,
Nice.
Zelda 2, right? One of those games that they call the dark horse, people don't like. And I think to date, probably the most difficult Zelda game.
I don't know if you count the CDI games. I think difficult for different reasons. But yeah, as far as like the ones that people talk about, Zelda 2 was brutal hard.
Yeah, no, and not only, just hard, but getting to the last palace, just the journey to get there is incredibly hard. And so then you get to the last palace and you're like, oh my goodness. I mean, there's hidden walls, there's floors you can fall through and all this, but I absolutely loved it. And so I played that all the way through. In fact, to date, it's the Zelda game that I've played through more than any other game, like repeated. So,
oh my gosh. Can I tell you my Zelda 2 story?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I loved Zelda 1 as a kid. And I was also, a bush burner, rock blower upper. That was like 100% me as well, right? And I still remember the first time that I got through the final dungeon. I was so proud of myself because I was meandering around in that thing for an hour before I figured out you got to push the thing to get in the secret passageway and all that.
Yep.
And whenever I go visit my grandma, she lived out in the middle of nowhere, Louisiana, a little town called Crotts Springs, just about maybe like an hour from Opelousas. And we would go to a video rental store that was also a gas station and also, I think, sold boudin or whatever. They did a little bit of everything. It was like the one shop that you could get to without having to drive all the way to town, right? and we would always rent movies there. And one day I was there and I saw that they had like video games, and there was a Zelda 2 up there, and I was losing my mind. I'm like, there's no way there's another Zelda game. When did they do that?
Yeah.
Right. And so I begged and I pleaded and over again, and eventually she rented it. Right. And we went and borrowed the NES from my cousins because ours wasn't there.
Yeah.
And fired it up and was so disappointed. I'm like, this is like a bootleg. This isn't Zelda. This is like this is a fake game. And I put it down and I never touched it again until I was an adult. And even then, I can't do it, man.
Hey, it's not for everyone, and people that say that, I'm not offended by it. I just happen to, love it. It was a lot of fun. In fact, I'm really begging for a remaster of that game, and I'd play the heck out of it.
Do you think it would be good if they rebuilt the gameplay at all, or do you want to just see it look better and play exactly the same?
I think just look better, play better. When DuckTales was remastered, that was pretty incredible.
That one plays exactly the same, though,
That
right?
one's the same. So I'm fine with it being the same, but just everything they did, the enhancements, is pretty awesome. And
just make it pretty.
But just make it pretty. I mean, I wouldn't want to take anything away from it, but I imagine if they remastered it, they might do something to make it a little easier. I don't know what that would be, but I can just imagine, because Nintendo's kind of gone that route. I mean, we were the the generation that was put through quite a bit, and that list of games that I had, I mean, it wasn't anything small, right? I mean, some really hard games.
Well, the things that they did to extend the quote unquote length or playtime of the games was almost all difficulty. It was almost all like, make this so hard that you got to do it 20 times. So yeah, that's the generation we grew up in. Yeah. But give me the link between that and the Zelda room. How did we get to
right? Yeah. So going right there. So I'm going to college. I still played. Link to the Past came out. I was able to borrow a Super Nintendo. I was always borrowing things, right? That's how I did it. Played Link to the Past. That was awesome. I remember borrowing a Game Boy, playing Link's Awakening, and had a good time with that. So we fast forward.
That's one of my favorites.
It's awesome. It really is awesome. And so, fast forward. So I go on a mission, and Ocarina of Time comes out while I am on my mission. Missionaries don't play a lot of video games.
Ideally, any.
Right. We snuck in some GoldenEye, and that we were able to every once in a while on one of those special days. But
where did you serve at?
So California, San Bernardino.
Okay. Right on.
But so anyway, this comes out, and there's one of the members in Lake Arrowhead, California. Really nice area. It's and like, we got this game, and so I got to play it for about 10 minutes.
Oh man!
And I was like, oh my gosh, because this is the first 3D Zelda game.
Dude, that had to have been torture.
Oh, it was. It was. But it gave me this, taste. And I was very busy on the mission, so plenty distracted to not let it torture me too bad. But I just remember, oh man, I'm going to play that. And so I can't remember when it was that Majora's Mask came out, but it really wasn't that long after. But
a couple of years or something.
Yeah, at least. But this was like towards the beginning of the mission. And so believe it or not, I didn't have anyone else that had it. And so I played Majora's Mask a little bit while I was going to college.
Okay.
But trying to squeeze it in. Then I was like, I can't play these games while I'm going to college, because you get into one and it sucks you in. And so I was like, all right, I'll just stick with Mario Kart, GoldenEye, some things like that you can play and then just put down.
Bro, you got some self-control.
So it took everything, right? So finally graduate, get married. And, my wife, she knew my love for the Zelda games. And so one Christmas, complete surprise, I get a Wii and Twilight Princess.
Oh, snap.
And I was like, oh, wow. And so I got into that. And I mean, it sucked me in so much, right? And luckily, we're on a Christmas break. And so I had some time to put into it. And I just couldn't put it down. Still to date, my favorite Zelda game.
You like it more than 2?
So Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
So I'll say that I do, even though I love Zelda 2 and it's way up there, but just because of everything that went into it and just the story, I loved it, right? And so when I got done with that, I was like feeling, oh no, like what am I going to do now, right? And then I was like, wait a second.
But you haven't gone back and played the old ones.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, I am going to play every Zelda game that I missed out on while I was in college. So Ocarina of Time was first. And so
did you absolutely love it?
Loved it. 100%ed it, everything,
man.
right? And
That's
so
not easy to do.
It's not, right? I did absolutely everything. And then it was like, oh, what's next? And then Wind Waker was next. So anyway, long story short, I'm going playing all these games, and then there's ones for the DS that I didn't even know were out. I even liked those. It was really weird, doing the stylus, but anyway,
with the
loved
Spirit
them.
Tracks and Phantom Hourglass and all that.
Right. And so the collecting part, it's weird. It didn't come into play until I was like, you know what? It was when Skyward Sword was released.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a little bit later. First game I ever bought like at release. I was so excited about it, right? And so I got the box and the collector's edition, and in my little home office, I put this little area where I just wanted to display the box. Thought it looked cool. I love the gold on everything. And so like, you know what? I need to get the gold carts of Zelda 1 and 2 because that'll look great next to that, right?
So it started with trying to build a display in your house.
Just a little one. I just wanted that little area, right? Mm-hmm. And so I thought that looked really cool. I'm like, well, wait, what other gold-colored games are there? And there really weren't a whole lot, but Ocarina of Time Collector's Edition.
That's got a gold cart. Majora's Mask is always gold. Yeah. And those gold plastics are so brittle. They break like nothing.
Oh, yeah. On Majora's Mask. Ocarina of Time's okay, but it's Majora's Mask. That one is a very brittle plastic. And so
it is.
I got those and I just thought, okay, that's cool. But I just wasn't satisfied, right? And so I'm like, well, I need to get every Zelda game now.
Go for the full set. Yeah.
So then that's kind of what actually started it. So what I did is I got on KSL and I was like, oh, let's look out there. Because I used to like buy and sell stuff from storage units. And so I was, used to listing things and looking for things. So I looked on there, and one of the first things that happened was, and I failed to mention, and it was mentioned with Mark, right? So I set aside $1,000.
Okay.
And, that's kind of a lot, at the time, but didn't have kids yet. And, I not as kid poor as we are now, kid and house poor, but okay, this is my Nintendo fund.
Gotcha.
And so just to get that, when it runs out, it runs out. So I got that, and I saw a lot on KSL, and it was like a collection, not huge, but, it was probably about $500. I was like, oh, wow, okay. But it had
half the budget right there.
Right. But it had some things in there that, I wanted. It was a lot of NES stuff, a lot of Super Nintendo stuff. And so I ended up getting that and then, kept some things, but, I just had those. And then before I knew it, my money was out, and I was still kind of wanting to get things. I'm like, oh, I don't want this. Like, what do I do? And so I'm like, you know what? Just make a list. I'll just throw it on KSL and try to price things out and just see how it goes.
So you would buy the lots that had something you liked and then sell all the things that you didn't like out of that lot.
Right. And I had no intention, right? This was just to get rid of these extras, right? So the very first call, and it wasn't that long after I posted this, I was surprised I got a call so fast. Jake Montgomery. So
okay. Oh yeah, I know him.
You know Jake.
Yeah, I know Jake.
Anyway, he's a big Mega Man guy. And this lot that I bought had 2 sets of Mega Man 1 through 6.
Oh, snap. Somebody just was collecting the heck out of it.
Yeah, and I think the one of the 6, like, I won't say they were in bad condition or anything, but there were 6 of them that were like mint condition, right? With manuals, not the boxes, but with manuals. And so that was really cool. And then I'm like, well, I might as well sell the extras. And Jake just happened to be looking for those at the time. So he came by right away, bought those. And then I don't know if you know Chris Rushton. Remember him? He's a friend of Jake's.
I know Chris.
He was number 2.
He's the one that bought my Virtual On arcade machine when I got rid of the storage unit and sold the arcade machines out.
Oh, yeah. Well, and Chris, great guy, very impulsive buyer. And I say that because that's what he admitted to, right? He's like, I'm an impulsive buyer. I see something, I got to have it. And, he worked in the oil field in North Dakota and was doing, pretty good. And so
he was making the money and he was spending it too.
Yeah. And so, he's like, do you have a Chrono Trigger? I just remember asking him, I didn't have one, but I ended up getting one not too long after that. That I didn't necessarily care about at the time because I didn't even know what it was. I knew it was a popular game, but never played it growing up. So anyway, got him one of those. And then all of a sudden, wait, I got my money back. And then I okay, well, I can continue this collecting thing. So that was what it was. It was just, all right, well, I'll look. And so what I had no intention on being a reseller or anything like that.
It just happened.
But the people that I met, like as I was doing this, not too long after, Trina.
Yep.
She came by and bought snowboard kids. I'll never forget that because that was the one she was looking for. Rochelle came by, got some NES stuff. I remember Gabe sending me a message. It's like, hey, how much for that Excite bike? It's like $5 or something. He's like, okay, done. He comes over.
He's a big Excite bike guy. I think he's got a tattoo of it.
Yeah. So, and then all of these people, right, that I'm just meeting, they're like, oh, this is really cool. Matt Galloway was someone I met pretty early, and he did a lot of, buying and reselling too, but he was a pretty big collector. So all of a sudden I've got this group of friends that I didn't even intend on that, we're in this hobby, right? And
it turns out that it's not just, one or two people in the valley collecting the retro video games. It turns out there's like 20 or 30 people actively looking. And as you start to get to meet all of them, it's kind of amazing how easily we all just kind of like melded into a friend group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And it goes with like when you have something like that can be somewhat competitive at the same time, right? I had to be on it. And, when you talked with, Mark last time a little bit, I did take some pride in being that guy that was trying to pick up nearly everything.
You were absolutely on top of it. I remember, when I was first running the store before I bought it, but like as one of the employees, I remember thinking, man, I would love to go out and like get some stuff off of KSL or, just maybe go yard sailing, right? And every time that I found a good deal on KSL, or even like I would have like regulars like text me like, hey, I found this on KSL if you want it, right? Every single time I reached out, it was always gone already. And half of the time I think it was you.
Yeah, and I mean, and sometimes I feel bad about that, and at the same time,
don't feel
I
bad.
was just I was hustling, and because Matt,
you put in the work, dude.
Matt Galloway's still a great friend. He was out hustling a lot too, and I would get messages from people. Did you get that deal? Yes. And like, man, you're picking up everything under the sun. That's what Matt said once. And, it's like, you like said, oh man,
well, if
don't
you
want to be
can,
that like villain, right? Here's this guy that's picking everything up, save some for the rest of us. But, it was fun though. Like it was, I won't say addicting, but you know what I mean? But that thrill of finding that deal and, hustling to get that.
And coming out on top when so many people want it. You know what I mean? Like I know that you don't really want to like rub people the wrong way or anything, but I guarantee you're getting a thrill out of winning 100%.
No, it was pretty cool. And so, doing that now, I've got a small story, but on one of those where, other people are looking too, and I won't necessarily call it, backdooring, but, people, would really try to snag something up.
There was always like, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say friendly competition between everybody on KSL, but I mean, sometimes there was some real, I don't know how to put it, almost backstabby stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, and this one, and the reason I share this small story is because the outcome is good, right? But it's funny, right? So this deal comes up on the Super Nintendo lot. It's really good price. And so I call them up right away. I'm only talking to them for like maybe a minute, and I hear that click sound like, oh no, and because people are going to be calling like crazy. You're like, oh, hold on a second. I was like, no. So anyway, every second is like eternity, right? And it must have been maybe a minute or so. And I was like, oh no. So anyway, they come back and basically, we just sold it to someone else, sorry, and then just hung up. And I was like, oh no.
That's rough, dude.
Now, and I had this little feeling, I'm like, oh, I bet it was Kyle,
my God.
And
was it?
Anyway, I'll get there. So I tried calling the person back and sent a couple text messages. I'm like, hey, what's going on? I thought, we're, had a deal and was going to pick it up. No response, right? I get a phone call
Okay.
Not too long later, from the Layton City Police Department.
What the heck?
Yeah. Like, hey, this person called, said that you're like harassing them or something. And it wasn't that, but I'm like, no, I'm not harassing anyone. And they said, text messages or something. I was like, oh, and I started laughing. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, right? And I explained what had happened.
Like show them the messages and stuff.
Yeah, the police officer laughed about it. He's like, yeah, I know it's pretty silly, but I have to call you. And so that was like so weird, to actually have, like something like that
involvement
in this, in this hobby. Mm-hmm. Yes, I found out later that it was Kyle, right? And it was this, I don't know, it kind of had this thing for a while where, we just didn't really like each other.
You guys were kind of butting heads for a bit.
And it was just like, oh man, never, anyway, I don't like that feeling, right? And it was just, how it was, but I was like, man, I felt like I was, cheated or something like that, but, part of the game. But everything changed, and I don't even know how far we're fast forwarding, right? But we have a very special mutual friend, Eric Kepler. And Eric Kepler, as many know, battled cancer for a long time, and eventually lost that battle. But I remember really just wanting to do something, for Eric. And at the time, I had a Dish Network business that I was doing, and there was a gaming con coming up, and so I thought maybe I can do, a special event like a fundraiser or something like that for the family. Just felt like I really wanted to do that, and you were involved in that too.
Yeah, the Help Eric Thwomp Cancer. I remember we had collections that we were taking to help pay for his treatment, and we split a booth at Comic-Con when they were still calling it Comic-Con, and sent a good percentage of that. I think there was also a period of time.
Salt Lake Gaming Con. Yeah, Salt Lake Gaming Con.
Was it
Salt Lake
Gaming Con?
I think it had changed at the time, but yeah.
Okay.
And I remember something about which I'll talk about. But anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, and then there were a couple of periods of time where like a percentage of sales from this period of time all went to his medical fund. And wasn't there also, I don't think my store participated in this, but there was also like some sort of like an auction or donations or something like that.
Yeah, no, and that was something.
For games?
Yeah, and that was like at all of the stores and things like that. And so put this together, it felt really good. Mm-hmm. And in fact, we raised $7,000. Yeah, it was really cool. We had like a little party to celebrate it, presented one of those big checks, and it was that. And I remember Kyle telling me this. He said, I know we had our things or whatever, but when that happened, everything changed, and it was like this bond that we had. Then you realize how how short life is, right?
Right.
And how things just don't matter. And so, it was cool, to get over that, a big bro hug. And, I consider Kyle, just one of my great friends, especially in this hobby to this day. And so, it took that, but then after that, perspective just changes.
For sure.
Battling, and I'll share some pictures of that. And so, what I was leading into, one thing I wanted to talk to you about that was cool is also that year, I was part of organizing the Mario Kart Deluxe tournament for the Switch for the convention. For the convention, right? Okay. And so, I was going to dedicate anything, like if I won anything, to Eric, right? Mm-hmm. It was kind of like I'm doing this for Eric. And so we had a committee of great racers put together a fantastic lineup. We're able to play on that huge screen
for sure.
there. It was a lot of fun, right? But I just remember I was feeling so nervous, right? I mean, what am I doing? I played this game like it's nothing, but we got this guy, because I participated in the one the year before, and I actually took third place. It was really cool. Mm-hmm. But this we call him a ringer that flew in from California.
Oh my God! Somebody who's really good at it.
Goes all over the place, and he's the one that won it, the year before. And so he was out. A couple other guys that are just really good, right? And so I'm like, oh man, I was like feeling like I could barely eat. I remember getting a sandwich and just barely like choking it down. Like I got to eat something, right? But I'm like, what is going on? It's just a video game, but maybe I'm doing this for Eric.
It got the heart pumping though.
Oh yeah, no, it did. And so anyway, just going along, and then I find myself in the final, and I was like, all right, there's 8 of us and top 4 in, but I just remember just being in the zone, right? And I was just at it.
Just
So
fully locked in.
Still nervous, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I'm doing this. So anyway, I ended up winning the
Nice.
Salt Lake Gaming Con Mario Kart tournament. Got the plaque that got a picture of, and was able to dedicate those winnings to the cause of Eric also. So it was just really special. That's the year he passed away, that we did that.
Man.
So it was tough, but it just felt good to kind of, to do that. So little claim to fame, to have that, but for a special cause and just what it did and all of the positive outcomes.
Yeah. No, Eric I don't think there was anybody in the community who knew Eric and didn't love him. He was an absolute sweetheart. I was kind of late to the scene, so I only knew him for a little while before he passed. I didn't get the chance to really get to know him, but there are people in the group now that, like, if the topic of Eric comes up, they still get choked up years and years later because he was just that well loved.
Yeah, no, I still think about it, and just a good, genuine person, one of those gone too soon stories, right? But it's hard to grasp. But
and he left a wife and kids behind too, and that's always rough, man. But that sometimes you don't know what's gonna come your way. You don't know what life's got waiting for you. You know what I mean? But that's So what do you do? What do you do?
So I know we're building up to the Zelda room and how that got, and I was given a little history about that. So my basement was unfinished at the time. So I've got some things in bins, and that little area that I dedicated that I talked about, right? Oh, a gold cart here and there. That was getting pretty full. And then as I'm building up my regular collection, because it was like not only Zelda stuff, but I'm like, wait, I want some of those NES games. And so I'm filling up shelves and I'm filling up bins, and I'm doing my KSL ad, and my inventory is growing and growing and growing, right? And so finally I get a new job, and I'm able to refinance the house and try to get a little bit of money to start finishing the basement.
And if I remember, we had already met each other at this point, I think,
yes,
at the store and at a couple of game nights.
Yeah.
And this was around the same time that I was buying just the Orem location of Game Changerz.
Yeah, so the timing was perfect. And I have to mention that because I'd been doing this ad for probably 5 years. And you can imagine, I mean, even though it was cool, and imagine people coming by your house like all day, and I was
tiring.
the drug dealer house, right? Now, fortunately, I know all my neighbors really well. And I was like, hey, if you say I'm not doing it, I have like video games and stuff. And so, but sometimes I'm away, and my wife has to go to the door, and, that's a lot of people coming by. And I would usually screen. I mean, if anyone sounded weird or whatever, I'd be like, okay, I'll be home in a little bit. But, I got to know, but, almost everyone was just good. Like people collecting video games in general that are collectors seem to just be good.
There's a lot of good people, and a lot of goodwill in the community, but I can imagine it's nerve-wracking. You're in kind of a nice neighborhood, you got kind of a nice house, and then you're inviting people that you've never met over to, come see, oh, look at how much he's got in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I can imagine there's a level of anxiety that comes along with that. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't. Like I invite people over to my house to come hang out, but it's only people that I already know, you know what I mean, that I've met a few times. And I can't imagine like trying to sell stuff out of my house and having, people come by multiple times a week that I've never met.
Right. And so, it's been about 5 years, and we're finally okay, we're going to finish the basement. And I dedicated that room to like, okay, that's going to be a game room. Okay. And so we get the loan, we're finishing, and we're a little short actually of being able to finish this. And I'm like, okay, what should we do? And this was total just coincidence, right? But maybe meant to be. I remember you coming by, and you had just picked up the Orem store.
Yep.
And you were like,
and we had hung out a couple of times.
Yes, we had.
Just outside of everything else, just you and me. I think you came over and played Gimmick at my house at one point.
Yeah.
And that's a copy of Gimmick that I got from Kyle. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. And at that time, I would say we were pretty decent friends at that point. Right?
I would say,
and
yeah.
So, so I remember you proposing to me is like, hey, I just got this Orem store. what would you think about working a deal for your entire KSL?
Was that
inventory?
my idea?
Yes.
I forgot. I thought you came to me with that one.
No, that was.
Oh, I feel smart now.
I was thinking, a little bit, but I wasn't about to just give all that up. When you're in that habit for a while, even though it was taking its course, but it was fun to do and that. But you approached me about that because you had just got the Orem store, and this was a big boost of inventory for it. Like I know you wanted to really boost that inventory.
I don't think I could have kept the Orem store alive as long as I did without that deal.
Oh, really?
There wasn't enough there, I don't think.
So I just remember it being well over 20 grand in inventory.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know we worked out something fair, and I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just time, and so. And, fast forwarding that, it really was, it gave us what we needed to help finish the basement and build the Zelda room. And it was piece by piece. I mean, I got things from all over, just, this will look perfect here. This will look perfect here. And so that was literally just piece by piece. And I think.
And you've got so many cool like display cases and stuff in there. The arcade machine is really cool. There's a lot of good looking stuff in there.
And it was cool because it was all piece by piece, right? And just how it all came together. And I love how it looks. And so, now I've got this Zelda room and it's cool. And, I'm constantly adding to it. And so I remember, so Breath of the Wild comes out, super excited for it. And then I find out a little bit about, there's a voice for Zelda. Like, that's really cool. I'm like, who is this person?
Yeah.
And so I look up who she is. And then I'm like, oh, okay. I'll see if I can find her on social media, right? Just for the heck of it. And so I find her on Facebook, and I sent a couple of pictures. I know, cheesy, whatever, but I was like, hey, because she had mentioned, just
like of the Zelda room.
Yeah, of the Zelda room. And I was just like, hey, this is my Zelda collection. It's been a big part, and I don't know, I can't remember what it was, but anyway, I just sent a couple of pictures. She replies and says,
oh, snap.
Wow, this is amazing. I would love to come and see it sometime.
Did she actually come by and visit?
So I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. It's like, if you know of any gaming cons going on in your area, maybe I can come out to one of those and pay a visit. And I was like, whoa. And so
wow.
We were like a week away from Salt Lake Gaming Con. And that was the one the year before that I took third place at that thing. But it was too short to be able to plan anything, right? And she was already committed to something else. But there was going to be one the next year. And so I'm like, maybe this can happen. So anyway, I'm talking to her for a while. And then eventually I got shifted to her agent because, they plan everything. I mean, the voice actors themselves, they don't know their schedules. So you got to have someone do that. So anyway, got to talking, Jake Williams, great guy. We're still in contact and that to talk to him. But long story short, she's coming to Salt Lake Gaming Con. So, we're talking, and we ended up getting a lot more Breath of the Wild cast members there.
I think we got almost all of them, right?
Almost all of them. And I think to date, it is the most characters that have been at one convention together.
That's awesome.
So it was really cool. I think it was everyone but Mifa and I'm trying to think. Well, Tulin, but anyway, and they've been at some other ones. So. Anyway, we worked it out. All of the others, they came out the day of the convention just working out, but we were able to work out Patricia Summersett to come out the night before so she could go to the airport. I live pretty close to the airport. So she was able to come from the airport, come to the game room. We've got a great video. Like it was cool. I mean, I don't get starstruck, right? But at the same time, I was like, whoa, it seemed like a dream. It was
That's
pretty
awesome,
cool.
dude.
Just had a great visit, had a sword fight, with my Wind Waker swords.
That's awesome.
Had a great video. She did a live Instagram feed, we did some question and answers. And so,
that's awesome.
And what was cool though, is I didn't realize this was happening. She sent a little package to my house. She's like, don't open it, until we get there. But she's like, I just wanted to do something unique. And so, we did an unboxing and we've got that in the Zelda room.
Oh, yeah. That was in the tour that you showed me.
Yes.
That rock. That's
so
awesome.
That rock. So she had that custom made from a great artist just for the game room because she said, I wanted you to have something one of a kind.
That's way cool.
In your Zelda room. And so I paid it forward. It took 6 years, because I was like, I want to do something. I just never knew what to do. But then Tears of the Kingdom is out. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to contact that same artist. And I got a hold of her. It was great. I had a rock made for Patricia. And it was Tears of the Kingdom style.
By the same artist?
By the same artist.
Oh, that's awesome.
So now she has one that's Tears of the Kingdom style. I have the Breath of the Wild one. And so she loved it. She actually did an unboxing of it in New Zealand at a gaming con
Way cool.
out there and gave me a big shout out. And so that was pretty cool. And I can even show you a picture of what that looked like. So,
dude, that's awesome. So that's the full story of the Zelda room, right? And then I guess that also kind of covers your whole reseller era. How long would you say that was? Was that like 6 or 7 years?
At least, right. And, I'm not going to pass up a good deal. Right?
Yeah, you're still in there a little bit.
I mean, a little bit, because even after that, you and I did some things where I was trying to process some friends' like collections, right? And it takes a lot of work to do that when you're talking about a whole bedroom full of stuff, categorizing.
Well, especially if you're going through each item and like, pricing out each and every single one of them individually, that can take weeks.
No, and it was a long time, but like I said, it was, sometimes helping, friends to do this, but when I, part of the reseller part, right. I always tried to price things to where it was still a deal, but not like a crazy good deal, because then am I selling to resellers, right? I was truly trying to give someone a good enough discount for the game, but not enough to encourage a reseller to just do the same thing, right? And so I think I had a good balance of that.
Because there's not a lot that sucks more than giving somebody a really good deal on something and then seeing it up for sale 5-10 minutes later. I had a regular at my store for a long time who was looking for a copy of Harvest Moon on the Super Nintendo for ages, and seemed like a really good guy. He was coming in a lot. I'm like, okay, we got a copy in, bro. I'll get you the homeboy hookup. And I gave him a pretty dang good deal on it. And then not even 10 minutes later, the exact same copy was up on KSL for like $40 more. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, man. You don't want to encourage that. And if somebody wants to come into my store and buy stuff to flip it, right? Either at my prices or at like the discounted price that the membership gets them, that's cool. You know what I mean? I'm fine with that. They're still, they're still part of the community. The resellers, I don't get like upset the way that, I've heard some other game stores really just kind of don't like it. But this particular one, I really hooked him up because I thought, we were close, and just to see him immediately flip it after that was like, geez, man.
Yeah, no, and that's why. So it wasn't, give a $5-10 discount on a $50 game or whatever, right? To where it's like they feel good about, it's like, okay, I've been looking for this and it costs this, and hey, that's cool. And I tried to keep it that way, right? But it's like, well, if I sell it for half, right, then it's like, yeah, then you're just kind of, it's just, we get it, right?
It just turns around.
I felt I had a good balance and never had complaints about like, oh man, this guy, charges too much. Man, Christmas time was awesome. Yeah. I had people that were like, I've been looking everywhere for this, and I tried to just get much, and like people that were getting these things for Christmas and messages afterwards of like, oh, that was the best gift ever. They were so happy. Like that was the stuff. It was like,
I love that.
That's what really kept it.
And that's part of it for me. Like whenever I hook somebody up with a good deal, right? I'm getting paid two ways, right? I'm getting the money from the discounted price, and I'm getting the good feelings of knowing that I gave somebody a good deal and hooked them up, and they're going to go home and enjoy something that they may not have been able to afford before, or may have been like, make them eat ramen for a month to be able to pay for it. You know what I mean? And you need both of those to make it worthwhile. You need to get the feel goods and the money.
Yeah, no, and one of the ones that was cool, this waitress at that was a tongue twister, Red Robin.
Okay.
Right, and she's like, I have been looking everywhere for this, like my boyfriend, like he wants a 64 with these specific games, and I just cannot find them anywhere. Game stores are out or whatever, but then there's like eBay, you have to wait, you don't know what you're getting or whatever.
Oh, this is back when GameStop was still carrying the retro too, I think.
It may have been, but I had everything on that list.
Just had it all
and it
on
was
hand.
Like, she was like, I'm working or whatever. It's like, why don't you come to my store? I'll buy you dinner, and whatever. Okay. And I was like, oh, you know what? Why not? This is cool, because if I'm traveling all around the place, you can't do that. But this one felt special, so I did. She treated me to a dinner, got that. She was nearly in tears of getting this, and got a message after and like how happy he was to get that. And so
Dude, that's the best part. Whenever you're buying and selling stuff, being able to absolutely make somebody's day makes it all worthwhile. And it's like, yeah, paying the bills and getting enough money to buy more stuff. That's all good. But like, just like the reaction you get from some people, like the huge, like, oh my God, this is so amazing reaction you get is so much more valuable in my opinion.
Right. And I really wasn't doing this to make money. I was doing this to fund my hobby. Really, that's what it was. And yeah, I guess it's kind of like making money, but it wasn't. I'm not trying to do this for a living or anything like that. But it was just really fun to be able to fund the hobby. And then, fast forwarding all these years later from that $1,000 that I set aside, my whole game room, my whole collection is all funded by that original
Well, and it's well over $1,000 worth of stuff in there now. I think you have a few things in there that by themselves are worth more than your starting budget.
There are a few pricey ones in there for sure, but all came from that. But, it's like when you think about the money aspect, right? But there was a lot of time. And so, time is also money as well. But the thing is, I was enjoying every bit of it, the thrill of that rush and, finding something, seeing a post of 80 boxed Super Nintendo games.
Right.
For $250.
I miss when that was a thing. Dude, it's been a minute since that's really been something you could just find,
Right. And I've totally I'll check the ads every once in a while just to look. But if you're not on it, and it's still that way, I hear that if you don't get it within a few minutes, it's gone. If it's
it's all saturated. That's the thing is there's a lot of people in the Utah Valley that want to buy the games, right? But there's also just an inordinate number of people now that, especially post-COVID, that they turned reselling into their side hustle, right? And so it used to be, it would be, you hop on KSL and you'd see, your ad, maybe 2 or 3 other resellers' ads, and then just a bunch of people that are just like, I don't want this anymore, and they're just selling it, right? Just like individuals that are just like, I'm clearing this out. Now you don't see that hardly at all. It's almost all resellers, because anytime somebody is just clearing something out, the resellers are on it like within a half a second. And I think word got out, you know what I mean, that there's money to be had here. And if you're gonna be buying and selling stuff, video games is way more fun than storage units. You know what I mean, or really anything else I can think of. I can't think of anything in the world that I would rather be selling than retro video games. Yeah,
and it was, like I said, it was really fun. And one of the things that it was heartbreaking at the same time, and you've seen this in your business, right? And you've talked about it on some of your other shows, but maybe a year or two later, sometimes I'd get messages from those same people saying, I'm running into some hard times and I've got to sell. And I was like, no, it's like, is there any way you can just keep it? Every person I tried to talk out of it somehow.
Yeah.
But ultimately, sometimes they just really had something, going on. I mean, a friend of mine had it was just a bad divorce going on, and there was no other way out of it. He had to do that. And so,
well, sometimes it's a really bad financial need, and sometimes it's burnout. You know what I mean? Or I think there was one guy
hobby
in the group,
hobby
shift. Yeah. Or like, it's time to buy a house, you know what I mean? And I need a down payment. So this is how I'm going to do it. I told my girlfriend for 10 years that this is an investment, and she's making me put my money where my mouth is, that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of reasons that people get out of the game. And luckily for us, when that happens, nowadays, I would say there's, a decent number of them either already think of my store or like find us on Google, but you don't see them on KSL that much anymore. There's not really a lot of like individuals like, I don't want this anymore.
Right. Well, and I even did a little trim, right? Mark talked about, his thousands and thousands and thousands of games, right? But he still has a big collection. But, it's like, wait, I think I've got a little bit too much. And you and I
remember that.
This because
the Marie Kondo method on all of it.
I talked to you about them, like, you know what? And I did these posts on different game groups, right? And so I did what the 10-minute rule is what I called it. I played literally every game in my collection for at least 10 minutes.
That's a feat, dude.
It was. And I would give a little 10-minute review. It was fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. And if it kept me going and I was engaged to play more, I'm like, okay, this is worth it. But if it just didn't do anything for me, I was like, you know what, I'll just get rid of that. So I did one of those, and you and I talked, and we did a deal for, a lot of stuff. And some of them, it was like, it was cool, but not $1,000 cool to, to keep. Right.
Right.
So, so this lot that, we worked a deal out. I mean, that was a pretty solid lot. That was over 20 grand too of that. I mean, Earthbound complete, Cowboy Kid complete, great GameCube titles, rare. I mean, and it was good. And I think that stuff all went, pretty quickly. Some never even made it to the shelves from what I understand.
That is true. Yeah. It's, sometimes I think it's healthy to prune a collection. You know what I mean? I think it helps prevent a situation where you burn out and just drop the entire thing. So
right.
I think it's a good thing to do. It's difficult though.
Well, yeah. When anyone who would visit my game room or anyone, they wouldn't notice anything gone really. I mean, it was, to anyone else wouldn't know anything, because the collection is still great. There's a lot of stuff in there. Of course, Zelda stuff never goes. And then personal things that, nostalgic, none of that.
Even post trim, it's hardly enough room in that Zelda room to fit everything. I feel like you really, like, you're at capacity, maybe a little over capacity.
No, that's what I felt was like, because I don't want it to be a game room that you feel like stuff just piled on top of another. And then it starts to like not look, I mean, people would come over and they'd be like, this is like a museum. Like, this is so cool. I've had a lot of people come by and see it.
Museum's a good word for it because it was curated as opposed to a hoard. I've seen both.
And so I think it's like kind of borderline there. I even thought of, now I do have an overflow in my home office that has some other things in there, and it's not like hoard style or whatever. And so it was just an overflow, but it's more of just other things. I won't say less important, but everything in that game room, there's something very special about it.
Well, and Kyle's kind of the other way. He's got so much stuff that there's absolutely no way for him to like display it all and make it all look nice in his house. But for the next Utah Retro Gaming Expo, he's taking a selection of that stuff to put up a curated display for their museum. So he's running the video game museum at the next convention. So he's got way more than he could ever do that with in his house. But then he's getting this opportunity because he's kind of always dreamed of like opening up a real actual museum. And this is like kind of him putting his foot in the water a little bit to see if he could do it. But being able to curate your stuff in your own home, that's a skill that I think requires a certain level of letting go that I think a lot of people don't have.
Yeah. And and it's been several years since I've had that. And I'll admit, every time I go in there, it still has the same feeling. It's really cool.
It still
like,
lights up.
This is awesome. I love this because every single piece in there was put and placed, just individually. And so I think it's going to be around for a long time. Now, of course, if something ultimately tragic happened and I needed to do that, to sell, I'd do anything for my family, of course. But I think that I may die in that room.
Don't say that out loud. Yeah, right. Knock on wood.
I may die in that room. It may be, I'm getting towards the end, like, you know what? Just put me in that room and I'll just sit. If I can't move anymore, I'll play games. And
just bury you with all of it, just in case it's mummy rules.
Right. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun.
Right on, dude. Well, I really appreciate you giving me the full rundown on all of that. Now it's time for us to play a game. So what did you bring today?
So, in speaking of playing games, it's interesting. You're like, okay, I'm going to play a Zelda game, right? I'm a Zelda game, but
yeah, like come in and play Zelda too.
But everyone has, seen do that. I remember a game night that we had. In fact, one of the first ones, Mark shared this story, right? He's playing Rad Racer and I see him go through that and like, oh, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, let's, try that. And I hadn't played it for easily 20 years, right? But it was a big claim to fame that I had. I could beat Mike Tyson in any way, right? By technical knockout, by points in the second round and the third round. I'd tried everywhere to beat him. I had it down. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this 20 years later, right? And so
it's be a little rusty.
All right, well, let's give it a try. I go to the code. The code is imprinted in my brain, not the actual numbers, but by the sounds. That's amazing. How it is. So I got there and then I'm like, all right, let's do it, And first try, beat him. It's
Dude,
like really goes like,
that's
oh
awesome.
man, that was awesome. And so anyway, that was kind of fun to do that. So the game that we're playing is pretty special game. I remember hearing advertisements for Blockbuster Video, PlayStation 1, right? Do you think it'd be something Nintendo? But I don't know if you can.
Yeah, we could put that up on camera.
So
here, I'll hold it up close on this one.
Tomba, right? And that exact copy right there came courtesy of Jason Magana.
Oh, he's one of my favorite people.
So love Jason, right? And he was one of the full set NES guys that I helped contribute to that collection. That's a story for another day, but we would meet up. But we did a trade for this game when he mentioned that he had it and I was looking for it. I was so happy, and so I still have it, and I've replayed this game a lot of times. It's been a little bit since I've done that, but it is my favorite game on PlayStation 1. The soundtrack is incredible, gameplay is incredible, and it's a unique style. They call it 2.5D.
Right on.
So
I've only ever played the first couple of minutes of it. So why don't we fire it up and show us how it starts off.
Oh, so right on cue, as you can see that this is a little, it's kind of like an introduction because you don't get much of one when you actually start the game. So here's this.
So you're supposed to watch this before you play it.
Yeah, it helps, right? Because, here's this, I don't know what you want to call him, kind of like a caveman style.
Yeah, he's a caveman
guy, right?
for sure. He's got a loincloth.
Loincloth, and he's clearly looking for food, and he sees
It's like Goku we have at home.
Yes, and even that's part of the character name. Well, he obviously got his warthog and he's eating, and then now he's saying like, what are these guys? He sees some more food, right? So pigs are good, and these pigs carrying this treasure, and so now he's going to go ahead and go after them. Wants the treasure, goes through.
Well, that didn't go so great.
Yeah, it's it's great. And the pigs, they have a very big part in this game. It's these evil pigs. Just an interesting storyline, right? It's like
and they stole his bracelet.
So yeah. Anyway, they stole his bracelet, and now it's like, okay, now he's gotta wake up, and now he's mad, right?
It seems fair though. He tried to steal their treasure.
Well, hey, he's just trying to eat, right?
He's trying to eat whatever's in the treasure box.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there he is. So now when you start the game, starting a new game,
and then there's a different intro.
So yeah, and it's very short. I thought that showing that intro would be nice. You do have to deal with some loading screens here and there.
Well, it's disc based.
That
Oh yeah, this is completely different.
Right. So in some of the cutscenes that they have as well, there's like some narration as well, right? Okay. I don't know if this one had it, but
yeah, like voiceovers and stuff.
So yeah, so he sees, he obviously sees some food there. He's like, all right, some food. There's this random mansion, and then here you go.
Okay.
So then there's this guy that just randomly shows up. He was kind of like a Navi in the Ocarina of Time. Not quite, because it's not constantly with you, right? And so the narration can be kind of funny sometimes, and it's like, well, I've never seen you around before. Used to live here. It's changed so much. If you need any info, go.
Gotcha.
So, just there's some things he talks about. There's these old guys in there that you got to get help from. And so he's like, check all the signs along the way. Tells you how to read signs.
Okay.
So, by the way, what's with the pink hair anyway? Never mind. I don't want to know. So there's a lot of that.
I'm assuming Tomba's a silent character.
So yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, a little Linkish, right?
Yeah, you got a similar vibe.
So then we saw those words that come up, right? And so it's
is it the chapter or whatever?
It's like a little quest, but so anytime you have a quest, it'll do one of those things. And so you have these signs here you can look at, and please stop stealing my. Who knows what that's about, So anyway, it's kind of funny. So now there's those pigs that we saw, right?
What's he up to?
So, and I don't know if you saw that little character, right? So like, what is this pig? And so I found out, you got to jump on him.
Okay. And then you can chuck him.
You can chuck him, right? So.
Oh, dude, those rocks moved and everything. Okay, they got some good attention to detail in there.
So then I was like, I saw that little monkey go up in the tree, and
So you follow him up there.
So you follow him up there, and then he's like, "Oh, you can, swing on branch." So it's it's kind of like a little thing. So
Okay, it's a really fun platformer then.
Yeah, so you get to learn a little bit about it, and then you can we jump around. And so anyway, you're like, well, what's this guy doing here? So and that'll okay, yeah, we do need to get there. You have to be patient. When I did this last night, I was like, oh, I did this first try. So if I don't do that right away, what he says, there we go. Well,
hey,
and you know how you jump
you?
up, he's like, what's wrong with you? Anyway, get off me. So okay, I'll get off of it. So it's like, I haven't eaten all day and your pink hair's giving me a headache. So wait.
So you get a quest.
So a hungry monkey. So he's hungry, right? And
so I would have just gone right by that and not even known.
Yeah. So anyway, he's hungry. Oh, we've got more pigs going on. So look, see that plant right there?
What is that? Oh my God.
That is literally a butt flower plant.
And it just farted on those
guys.
Farts. Oh, that's nasty,
Do
bro.
you hear that? So there's actually a quest in the game later on. I was gonna try to do it, right? But where you have to get that on one of those pigs, and it shrinks them into like a like a little something. Let's see, I don't know. Okay, maybe. But anyway, yeah, that's literally a quest, and so the 2D part of this game is really cool. And then we've got
your guy again.
Our guy again. So. I'm trying to go to this old man's hut, right? So he's like, all right, let's do this. But he's like, oh, the fog is so thick, right? And little things like this happen. So it's like, well, you can't really do that now. So it's like, only if I had, some way I could get rid of this fog, And then...
So you got to figure it all out.
This is the 2.5D, right? So...
Oh, you can change the angle.
So here's the angle, right? I'm like, oh, now I'm in a different platform. I'm like, oh, I've got this bird, right? And fruit gives you...
like health?
Gives you health, right? So, but I just broke that open, right? So I'm like, oh, there's a little chick in there. So I have a chick acquired. Like,
you just grabbed his baby.
So, yeah, where did it go, right? So it's like, and that, comes into play too. It's funny. So now it's like, well, use an item to blow away the fog. Something Winnie just might do the trick. So I'm like, okay, you can't progress anywhere
Until you
else.
Find it, yeah.
Okay, that guy is getting a little annoying, isn't it? So, there's treasure chests, throughout the game that you get. So now...
Oh, you're in the back half.
So now I'm in the back half, right? And I've got this little... I don't know what kind of weapon you want to call it.
Call that a mace or whatever, or a flail?
And that changes throughout the game. So I'm like, what is this, right? Well, let's just jump on top of that.
Oh, okay.
So, anyway, brings you back to... So now I have a furious tornado.
Is that just in your pocket?
So, it's just kind of like Link, right? He can hold a lot of stuff. So anyway, he's got this furious tornado. So let's try to go on a little bit, go on the butt plant again.
So then you got to climb up.
Let's get rid of that bird. He's kind of annoying. So, and you get stronger and stronger by doing that. So,
okay.
So now we've got this issue here.
And then how do you use the tornado?
So we go into this menu here, use item, and then hit the furious tornado. And then it's cool because they'll do like these little cutscenes.
Oh, that's neat. Oh, that is actual cutscene.
Yes.
Wild, man. Are those pumpkins? What are those? Oh, those are pig snouts.
Oh yeah. This game is very pig related, and you'll see little things like that. But butt plants and pig snouts, pretty. So it does that little thing on every quest that you have. So
okay, so you still got a couple quests that you're working on.
Right. So what I have to remember, like that, you die if you fall there. But there's another angle that you can go, right? Because you've got these different backgrounds going on all the time.
Yeah. How do you switch between them?
So it's like pressing down or up when you're by a platform.
Oh, gotcha. So you have to be in the right place to do it.
Yes. So
okay.
I got the signs here. So yeah,
Neat.
just telling you how to talk to people. So
all right, so I still have some questions for you. If you're all right, trying to continue chatting while we do this, because there's still so much more that we could go over. But as one of the bigger Zelda fans in Utah, I've got to know, what do you think about the upcoming Zelda live action movie? What are your thoughts on that bad boy?
Right. So fans have wondered why there hasn't been something, for a while, right?
Well, I know why, right? Like, there shouldn't be, because there's no way they're going to live up to the hype that they have to, right? That's my opinion. Right.
Well, and I think, we could probably both agree on this, that we had a Super Mario Brothers movie a long time ago that was okay, right?
Yep.
But, I think we still enjoyed it for what it's worth. But it's like, okay, probably no more Mario movies.
Can't get enough of Leguizamo, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so that was, but the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out recently is like, okay.
It was a commercial success for sure.
So it was pretty good. And honestly, I think it was like, okay, maybe we need to do this with Zelda. If we can have success and get something together.
Yeah, but that was animated. This is going to be live action.
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you this. I'm nervous.
There's no way it's going to be good enough. Link's a silent protagonist. Do you think they're going to change that?
That's the biggest mystery right now, right? If he has a voice, it's going to be very weird. My kids and I were joking, right? I have to put this down for a second because is he going to go like this in the games? Because we always joke, that he's doing that. They obviously know what he's saying, but it's like, is that what he's going to do? And so,
yeah, because in the games he does actually communicate with people. You just don't get to be
right.
You don't get to participate.
So he is talking in the game.
He's got to be, right?
But yeah, because the people are understanding. He's definitely conveying a message, and so. I don't know.
What's that? You blah, 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 blah. Yeah. The way they do it, where he's a silent protagonist, but he's not, because everyone tells you what he said to them.
Yeah. So out of nowhere, this guy gives me some bananas. He's like, oh, here, take some bananas. I think I remember
so you can go feed the monkey. Yeah.
I remember someone who was hungry.
What's AP? What's that mean?
So these are like different checkpoints. So if you get a certain amount of points, so in this case, it's 100,000, then you go back to these different AP boxes.
And you get the quest
and it gives
completed.
you goodies. And it gives you that quest fulfilled as well.
Okay.
And you'll see how many side quests are in this one. I have a little surprise for everyone to make this a little more interesting.
Okay.
This game,
it's a kind of a long one, isn't it?
It can be. And I did a lot of it, and it was still probably 11 hours maybe. So,
oh wow.
And that was me doing a lot of things. And so, yeah, it's it's a lot of time, but
we're not going to get all the way through the game.
Right. But what I did is
dang.
I did a save file. Oh, well, I guess I fell down and got hurt a little bit, right? So,
okay. Okay. So yeah, you got a save file that we can switch over to.
So I thought, you know what, we're gonna.
Why don't we feed the monkey and then switch over to that?
Yeah, I think because the other thing. It's like you can do some other things. You go and see this. I guess before doing that, I could at least give you a little background, right? So, the whole. Oh, I missed that one. You talk to these old men. There's 100-year-old man. There's 1,000-year-old man. There's a 10,000-year-old man, and they have this great wisdom and advice. And you get keys that they give you that unlock. You saw some treasure chests around there. But anyway, so you go on this quest, and they.
Almost.
Man, what is going on here? So, and then you find out about the evil pigs, and so there's these. I want to say 6 or 7 evil pigs. All right, let's see. What is?
Oh, just a tad early, I think.
I know. I won't say there's a lag, but so you go on this quest to try to beat these evil pigs, and the way that you beat them, it's not like these bosses that you fight, right? It's a very unique way to get one. I don't know what's going on here, Michael, but
you'll get it.
But
so you got to fight a bunch of different bosses, but what's the? Oh, there you go. You got it. What's the overall story? Like, are you just trying to get your bracelet back?
So yeah, you're trying to do that. You get that back and just go on with your life, right? Because I'm like, hey, I just want my bracelet back. I just want to go hunting pigs again. And that's really what it comes down to.
Okay.
But the pigs are really greedy. They love gold. And so they saw the bracelet, and they're
it's
like,
made of gold. Yeah.
So that's really all it is he just wants his bracelet back.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and give.
Well, and they made a second game too. Do you know? Is it a little bit more grandiose, or is it still just as lighthearted and silly?
You know, it is. I mean, the gameplay's a little bit different, and I haven't finished it. I own it, and I've played a lot. I mean, this is better than the second one, but the second one is still good. The music is very monotonous. Is that the right word? I mean, it's
repetitive.
And it's not as good. And I love music in games, right? Zelda music is.
There's so much good music in Zelda.
So, give him some bananas, and so he. So now I get. We can do an animal dash now. Now we can run fast. Okay. So he does that so well. We got it. So nice. Now we have the animal dash. Now later in the game, see, he has a parasol, an umbrella.
Okay.
That comes into play later because you do something. I think you get him more food, and then you get his parasol. So now you can actually glide, and you can get to places that you couldn't go to before. So anyway, I can stop this now. The next thing I would do is go to the 100-year-old man, give him those chicks that I ate.
Oh yeah, that you grabbed.
And then the reward for that is he gives you the 100-year-old key. And that allows you to open up those first ones. And so they're all over the place. And then you just continue to go. And like a lot of these lands, what they are, you find that they're cursed by the evil pig, right? And so the cool thing about this game is that you're doing this cursed land, but then you beat the evil pig, and then it does a cutscene, and then the land's all beautiful again. And the music changes too. So you have different music.
That's nice.
So it's really cool. So
you're just being silly trying to get your thing back, but in what's the word I'm looking for? Just by accident, you're also saving the world as well, kind of.
Yeah, there's even one of the side quests that you stand next to statues that they're like water statues that water's coming out of them. But it's actually like coming out of
gotcha, like they're peeing,
like they're all peeing, and then he stands there and pees with them, and you get a so anyway fun. It's really funny. So
sweet. Let's skip ahead a little bit. If you want to go ahead and slap that memory card in there and hit that reset button, we'll see a little bit further into the game, because I'd hate to showcase just like the first few minutes of it, you know what I mean?
Right. And I wanted you to see what like the gameplay was about, but then like, hey, let's go forward and let's just go to the end of the game. So at this point, you've beaten all of the evil pigs supposedly, and there's this room that you go to, and you have to have people standing on a platform to unlock this door to this final area. You don't know what it is, and so you actually go around to these different villages, and you have to find like one friend in each of these areas, and they're like, oh, I'll be your friend and I'll help. And so they all go and they'll stand on this platform to try to unlock. And so I got to that point. Guess I didn't want to go. Huh?
Yeah, it's fighting. You know how disc-based stuff can be. So
nothing like hearing that sound again, though, right?
I love the PlayStation startup sound. Dude, that's one of my favorite things on the planet.
Yeah, and my little brother was more the one that PlayStation era started, and we played the heck out of Tony Hawk's. I mean, Tony Hawk's Pro Skating. We had so much fun with that, and so when he had that was when I saw advertisements for the Tomba. I was like, I got to play this game. It just looks like a lot of fun.
That's awesome, dude.
Okay, I think it's going to the next screen here. Okay,
yeah,
good.
We made it.
And Limited Run did a release of Tomba, and they're doing one of Tomba 2 as well.
Okay.
But
like on the Switch or something?
Yeah, on the Switch. And so I ended up buying that. I haven't done any of those limited run things, but this one I had to get. It's really cool. They did so I'll play through it on the Switch at some point as well.
Yeah, I mean, like if you've got the nostalgia for it, you know what I mean? If you've had a lot of good times with it, then makes sense. I never played it, but I do remember when I started working at the store, whenever it would come in, people would get excited. So it was always on my radar at that point, but let's see here.
So I think this is going to be the one here.
Level 7.
Yeah, and the levels are basically when you jump on those pigs and birds, whatever, and you you actually build up strength and levels, and so. Oh,
so your character's leveling up. Yeah. It's not you're not on level 7. You are level 7.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's like
okay. Do you know how high does that go? Do you know?
You know, I thought about just trying to do. I think it'll go as high as you want. So now this is weird.
Well, you're right? Like the wrong color.
So look at this, right? And look at how fast I move, right? So partway in the game, you have like there's fruits that you can eat that do things, ones that make you laugh, ones that make you cry. I know it's weird. There's a stage that you actually have to use those. There's this one that makes you super fast, but it changes your hair, it changes that. And so I'm at this stage now, and I have to see the parasol. That's the thing that does. And this little whirlwind thing I have, it's a way to get like a little bonus jump. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of...
you got a lot of stuff in there, man.
Yeah, so 7 pages of things, right? So I'm going to get rid of... that parasol just before we go there. Partway through the game, you get a friend, Baron.
Okay.
He's a dog with really big ears, and it's kind of like your warp. You can go to different areas, right?
Nice.
But so
can you pet the dog though?
So I don't know.
It's not a good game if you can't pet the dog, Brian.
That's
how it works.
But you ride on him though.
All right, I guess that counts.
So all these places that you can go to.
So you get your fast travel.
I wasn't actually supposed to go there, but it's fine. It won't be too far off. But like the different areas you can go. So there's this little room that you go to where that is that I'll show you. So I've already gone and gotten all the friends to ask join, to help out so we can go to this room. But see, here's another thing I guess that you see about the game as well, right? Like you've got this kind of like a top-down
view,
so,
yeah. RPG
it changes.
style.
So you've got, all these different views, and it's really cool.
You got RPG town music and everything. Okay, so where's the final battle at?
So Dwarf Forest, and then there's all these areas in there. So the small thing, so the strange small room, right? So that's just all it is. It's just this room, and so there's the Baron. You go and you just fly off.
Okay. And he just takes you wherever you need to go.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's just anywhere that you've been before.
Yeah, anywhere that you've been. So
there's all the friends lined up.
And so there's all these platforms, right? So they're all pressed down except for one. They're like, we still need one more. What should we do, right?
Well, you can go stand on that.
So you would think, right? But you have to be standing on there in order to be able to go in the door.
Oh.
So why can't the old man stand there, right? But apparently he can't. So
he's too old to stand.
So then Baron jumps out, and there's the 7 friends, and you get the clear, and so
right.
So they're like,
he had a quest.
Baron's like, I guess he's his friend too, right? And so now the gate's opening, and
I was expecting that whole thing to go up.
Yeah.
And Baron just jumped in with you.
So he comes with me. So what I found out later is I can use Baron in the boss if I want to get out of there.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't even know that before.
You got an emergency escape rope, basically.
So here's this last evil pig, right? And you can see it's just gold everywhere.
He's just little.
They just love gold.
He's hoarding it more than a dragon.
So you see that bag?
Yeah.
It's just going up and down, right? Some of them go around. Each boss is different, but the way to beat the boss, you have to grab him and you have to throw him in the bag.
Okay.
So it's really, really weird. This one's a little bit... So anyway, he
created the other evil pigs.
So, anyway, kind of fun.
The whole thing is a game.
And
a little bit of a fourth wall break.
So,
a little bit.
So the thing is, you get close to him, and that little.
Oh, and you got to climb up and stuff.
So you have to go, but look, if you try to get him, and you can't quite.
Because the platforms are in the way.
Right. So. He has that bell thing.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, man, I'm doing this early. That was very less dramatic. I never got it on the first try. That was just...
Is that it? Did you just beat him?
That is it.
You only got to get him in there once?
But it is super hard. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I believe you, Brian. I believe you.
Last night, I was just going through just to see, and it took me at least 10, 15 minutes because you have to get it just right when he's going on there. A lot of the time when you try to jump on him, he pauses you, so he freezes you in midair.
Okay.
So don't tell me how I just got incredibly lucky and did that because they usually take a while. So anyway, you get him in that bag and it just destroys the pig. And so now we're flying away.
We get the cool ending cutscene. I appreciate you coming here and beating Tomba in front of me. I know we skipped ahead, but I would never have in my life gotten to see this ending cutscene without this exact experience. So.
And then this is funny, right? So you get, so those are all of the old men gathered together. They're in different places in the game.
Different amounts of old.
Yeah, so there's like I said, there's the 100-year, the 1,000, the 10,000, and then the other one must be just super old because there's 4 of them there and I can't remember. And they're joking and they're like, oh, you're old, and so... Oh, the million-year-old man.
That would make
sense.
So
that's the one. They say memory's the first thing to go, you senile old. Hey, calm down, both of you. Anyway, so just this fun little dialogue, and so
yeah. Is there another cutscene after this?
So yeah, there's So he's like heading. He just, like I said, he just wanted to just get his bracelet and go on with his life. So
where's his bracelet though?
So yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, because the pig didn't seem to get it from the pig.
Okay, then they're just still doing their thing, and then it'll give you a recap. It'll do this little thing, a recap of the game. This isn't very long at all, but
that's a nice little jam going though.
Yeah, just. He's like, all right, I'm finally done with all. Hey, there's the monkey. Yeah. Guess we gave him his umbrella back.
Must have, right?
So, but so there are a lot of side quests, and I went to 100% this, right? I'm gonna have to do it again. So there's one point in the game. There's this spiky log thing, and you have to let it go on one of these crickety bridges, and you have to get it somewhere. But later in the game, you get one of the that weapon that I showed you. It gets upgraded heavily a few times to where it's strong enough that it can destroy that spiked log.
Okay.
Which is not good because it does not respawn.
Uh-oh.
And so there's one that if you do that, which I destroyed it on accident.
You can soft lock yourself.
So you can. Oh,
there it is.
There it is. Okay, I forgot about that. So, and you even get this grandpa's bracelet, the final one. It's like, okay,
one.
So events found, events cleared, 128. It's that one thing, and so.
Oh, so you locked yourself out of it.
So you can't get that unless you do the whole game
Start
over again.
Start all the way over. Oh, so you 99.5% of this game.
Right. So I'll end up doing it again. But anyway, it was fun. You can see it was 11 hours, 42 minutes. But super fun game. I love it. The soundtrack, I still listen to the soundtrack. And then that limited run release they did, they actually give you the soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
That you can listen to. So I crank it in my car.
That's awesome,
I love
dude.
it. But recommend anyone to play it. Super fun. But I thought that'd be a fun game to show everyone.
Heck yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you showing it off. It's like I said, it's one of those ones that's I know people like it. I know they get excited about it, but I've never actually been able to make the time to sit down and play it. So it's fun to actually get a little taste of both the start and the end of the game. I appreciate you bringing in a save file for it because I think that drastically improved the quality of the experience. I think.
Well, because it's a little slow start, right? And you're doing a few things, and then it's like, okay, now we're fully upgraded, and let's go tackle the boss. But I know I beat it the first one. Maybe it was that Mike Tyson in me, right? It was just okay, do what I do and put the pig in the bag.
It's like an action platformer, but it's definitely got RPG vibes going on there. Yeah. So I really dig that. Right on, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come out and chat with me. There's so many more things that I would love to chat with you about, but we're kind of at time. Right. So I'm just gonna give a little thing that I gotta do. I gotta say, hey, this episode, just like every other episode, is brought to you by Game Changerz. That's Game Changerz with a Z. That's my store. I like it. You can check us out on GameChangerz.com. And then, obviously you can swing by. We're on 33rd South and State Street here in South Salt Lake. And then, Bryan, I'm trying to think, is there anything that you want to give any shout outs to anybody, or do you want to, say any final thoughts before we go ahead and close it out?
Oh, yes. I would love to shout out to my wife and my kids for being patient in the hobby, especially my wife. With times where I was away, someone really wanted to buy a game, and she was willing to do that for me. She got this whole thing started, right, with Zelda and Twilight Princess, and especially my 3 boys. We've enjoyed this hobby together. We play games. We don't just have a museum there. We actively use that game room, and we've played countless hours in there. And it's a special bonding time that we have with just how demanding, it is today with their time. That's our special time. And we're heavily involved in Silk Song right now. Really fun, challenging game, but we're all working on it together. We pass the controller around just like we've done the other games, and it's just been a lot of fun. I know these are memories that they're going to remember the rest of their life, myself. So love you, boys.
Oh, shoot. Real quick before we wrap it up, tell me about this weird Dr. Pepper shirt that you're wearing. What is this?
You're thinking, okay, why am I wearing this oversized shirt that says Dr. Pepper on that, right?
I thought that was just a stylistic choice.
So if I spin around, can you see what's on the back?
We can see, but we can't hear you talking, but you can show it up. Here, why don't you stand up a little bit? Yeah. Okay. So that is Majora's Mask on the back of a Dr. Pepper shirt. What's the deal?
So, back when Dr. Pepper did this promotion, right, to try to win a Funtastic N64.
Which Funtastic was it? Do you know?
It was just, I don't think it was a specific one, unless there was, someone could correct me, but you could win a Funtastic. That was like the prize that you wanted.
There was just like unscrew the cap.
Unscrew the cap and do that. So there are some consolation prizes and such. Well, anyway, this was a consolation prize. And so Nate Booth, one of the guys he's a Zelda guy as well. He got this and was very disappointed because he wanted the Funtastic. This was his consolation, but never wore it, just always kept it. But, we met through the hobby and he knew it was something that I wanted. And so we worked something out for it.
And now this is way more rare and like hard to find than
Incredibly
a Funtastic
rare.
64. Yeah.
No, I was looking to see if I could find one. I think someone must have gotten a snipe. I don't know how old the post is, but it was like, vintage clothing. It was on there and someone probably got a really good deal, but you can't find them anywhere. Like,
oh my gosh.
Nowhere. I remember, and he had an offer, like he put it on eBay. He was just going to do that just to get like just some kind of offer. So we had something to work with, right? Because you can't find a price for it anywhere.
You just kind of make something up.
So we just did. So anyway, he had an offer of like $500.
Woo!
And it was legitimate, everything, right? It was like, ooh. Anyway, we worked something out for it, helped pay it forward later by getting him a copy of the Donkey Kong 2 soundtrack, very rare through, it was a Nintendo Power thing, and he loved that. So, it's how, karma comes around. And
it's funny, in the long term, the consolation prize is by far the better prize.
Yeah, and it was, right? I mean, I'm sure he's glad, to do that.
I'm sure he's glad he didn't wear it a ton, too.
So he didn't wear it at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So me wearing this is like, but I wanted to, show something pretty unique, and that's in the collection that I have.
Right on. Well, again, thanks a bunch for coming out. I really had a fun time chatting with you, and let's hang out again soon.
All right. Sounds good, Mike.
Thanks, man.